everybody. Or hopefully I'm going live. Yes, I am live. Welcome everybody. My name is Penny Kroll. I'm the founder of Metaconsciousness, which is basically an analytical tool to find the root cause of disease, whether mental or physical. And I run also a founder of Change Ahead. So I'm a trainer of EFT and matrix reimprinting for those that don't know you or don't know me. And sometimes I can get tongue-tied as well. So tonight, let's see who's joining us. I think I went on a little bit too soon tonight, but we're going to be looking at limiting beliefs. Now we've got 30 minutes and beliefs can sometimes be really tricky. So I'm a 55-year-old woman and I'm still finding some of these little pesky beliefs. And COVID has been a gift, a complete gift for me to find those new ones that are perhaps blocking you or blocking ourselves. And these limiting beliefs are really quite interesting because at one point they were a solution for whatever was going on, that event, that trauma, that conflict. And it doesn't have to be a trauma that we've made a belief. It could have been a good occasion, but we've perceived it in a very different way. So that these limiting beliefs, Bruce Lipton says they occur before we're 6-year-old, but I'm really looking because each child in that developmental stage is slightly different. So I'm looking, when I'm working with clients, at beliefs pre-7, 8, 9-year-old. Now, when you're joining us, so welcome everybody, just pop in where you're from so I can get a feel who's coming on. Welcome everybody, and see, it's great, isn't it, Zoom, that we are joining here. The more people that we have, I do truly believe in that collective consciousness, so we can really tune in all together. So we've got Italia, England, I think Somerset, and so these limiting beliefs. Well, I'm going to ask you a question now. Can anybody guess who said this? And I remember previously I was an estate agent and I used to say this to my staff all the time. And this is going back 30 odd years ago. If you think you can do a thing or think you can't do a thing, you're right. So think about that a moment. If you think you can do a thing or think you can't do a thing, you're right. Who knows who said that? It's a very famous quote, and it's quite often misquoted, normally by me. So who said that? If you think, oh, we've got South Africa as well, how exciting. Cape Town, one of my favourite cities, North Somerset, fantastic. If you think you can do a thing or think you can't do a thing, you're right. Does anybody know who said that? Henry Ford, well done. Now, the thing about Henry Ford, he said beautiful quotes, and I'm going to be quoting him quite a lot tonight, if you don't mind, because they're so simple and they were said so many years ago and they still apply for us today. So before we begin tapping, I'm going to ask you to put your hand on your heart and breathe into your heart to the count of 6 and breathe out to the count of 6. So 2, inhale, 4, inhale, 6, inhale, exhale 2, exhale 4, exhale 6, inhale 2, Inhale 4, inhale 6, exhale 2, exhale 4, exhale 6. And while you're doing that, I'm going to ask you to multitask. Think of that box. If you listen to my last live on TAPATHON, I invited everybody to think of a beautiful box. So if a memory comes up that's too deep for us to deal with today, we can put in this beautiful box. It could be a beautiful trunk, it could be concrete, it could be wooden, it could be simply made of glass or crystals. But we're going to make out a box. So still breathing into our heart and exhaling. Imagine that beautiful box that if a memory that comes up that is too deep for us to deal with on this tonight, we can put it in the box and lock it away so that you're very safe. And some people imagine beautiful boxes the last time. And you can share with us what your box looks like. You don't have to if you don't wish to. And still breathing into our heart. And I'm going to ask you to think for a moment what challenges that you've had during the last 5, 6, 7 months during lockdown. My goodness, it's August now. And some people have emailed me privately. They didn't want to share it. So some people said that what was coming up for them, that they didn't feel good enough. They couldn't fix problems, that they weren't able to express themselves, so they felt powerless. What's coming up for you? Hi guys. What's coming up for you at the moment? On Facebook, limiting self-beliefs, going back to work after years at home, fear and failure is limiting, energy focus, can't quite define, not being able to work or to sing in person again. So let's choose your emergency point. Let's just go through all the points. I'm not going to go through how to tap. If you don't know how to tap, come off this tapathon, go on to Janice and Andrea's beautiful how to tap. I'm going to be tapping on my face and I've got glasses on. I'm going to invite you to tap and find out which tapping point is your favorite, because at one point we'll be tapping, and I should just lower that so you can see. I use the liver point underneath the breasts because I think that's quite important. So imagine you've got bra strap on, you tapping on the bra strap directly beneath your nipple. Follow your bra strap around the monkey points. The wrist point we'll be using tonight, the finger points. And for those of you that are a little bit lazy like me, we can just do that. So, powerless, what's happening in the world, not being able to speak my truth. I've got another list here. Don't have a self-belief about myself. I don't feel good enough. Feeling stuck. Can't do anything. Freeze. Is it that freeze response? Pop in what's coming up for you, and then we'll start tapping. And I'm going to do the traditional recipe by Gary Craig, and I'm going to invite you to put in your own limiting belief. So we're going to tune in. If you have a limiting belief of 10, you don't have to tune in. We're only doing the recipe times 3 to tune people in. You can just simply choose an emergency point, whichever that is, and just tap there to keep yourself safe. So even though, and repeat after me, even though I'm not feeling good enough, perhaps today I choose to accept where I am. And that's okay. So even though I'm feeling powerless at what's happening in the world, remember, put in your own. I'm not being able to speak my truth. If I do speak my truth, I get into trouble. However, today, I choose to accept where I am today. So even though I'm not feeling good enough, I'm feeling muzzled, I'm not able to do anything, I'm still in the freeze response. Perhaps I'm in the fight-flight response. Again, put your own limiting belief in. Perhaps today I can accept where I am. Top of head, choose one word from that limiting belief. Powerlessness. Powerlessness. Not feeling good enough. Not being able to speak my truth. Getting into trouble. I always get into trouble. I've got a big mouth. I've got no self-belief about myself at the moment. Simply too much. I'm feeling too small. These problems are so much bigger than I am. I'm so small. I can't speak. Nobody's listening anyway. What's the point? And if these words are not right for you, change them to your words. I'm getting into trouble. I'm just simply not good enough. I'm not big enough. What's the point of me doing anything? I think it was the Dalai Lama that said this. If you think you're too small, think of the mosquito. Try sleeping with a mosquito and see how powerful they are. I don't think that's what he said, but you get my drift. Feeling small, feeling powerless. What's happening in your bodies, guys? Tune into what's happening in your body. What color, shape, and texture is in your body. Out of 10, what's the intensity that's coming up in your body? If anybody can just pop in the chat box. What's coming up in your body? What shape, color, texture? What intensity is that? And now focusing on that intensity and that shape, color, texture. And just for one moment, think of the first number that pops into your head now. It's the first number that pops into your head. Pop it in the chat box. All that fizzy energy, that 7 in my throat, 5 responsibility on my shoulder, heavy black lump in my stomach. All this energy. What number came up for you? Now think of that number. What was happening in your life when you were 8-year-old? And if you're feeling a little nauseous, keep on tapping on the wrist. Breathe in sharply. Blow out longer. Breathe in sharply. Blow out longer. What was happening when you were a 4-year-old? Can you see yourself as that 4-year-old, as that 6-year-old, as that 8-year-old? What do they need immediately? That child that you're seeing, what positive colour, sound, shape or texture does that child need immediately? That younger you. Put yourself in a bubble, make yourself feel safe. You may need to bring in more positive energy to surround yourself. Do not step into that picture. We're simply observing that little child. If it's too much of a traumatic memory, simply invite that memory to put into your beautiful trunk box that you imagined earlier, and we can revisit that with a practitioner. Beautiful. Pink love and blue safety. And that younger you, that 9-year-old, that 6-year-old, that 4-year-old, yeah, needs a pink ball to bounce around the playground. Pause everybody else. That little one may need a magical wand or a remote control, so they feel now empowered. They can have anything they wish. They can have glitter, they can have magic. They're children. It's never too late to have a childhood. Keep on tapping. Simply observe them as if they're on the TV. They need an invisibility cloak. So we're not doing true matrix here, guys. We're doing a little bit of NLP here. So we're just keeping your younger yous, these echoes, these energetic conscious holograms, safe in that TV. And we're going to invite them to be empowered. They're a little bit like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. They don't realize that they don't need the red shoes, but it is helpful sometimes. Keep on tapping. Who would they like to be tapped on by? Do they need to tap on themselves? Would they like an angel, something esoteric to come in? Do they need to bring in a puppy dog or a kitten? Something with a beating heart. It's so beautiful to bring in another beating heart. Do they need a hug from mum or dad? From grandpa, nana? Keep on tapping. What's coming up for you as you're observing them? And just pop in. Yes, I want the red shoes. You have to come to my Wizard of Oz party. I promise I'll invite you all. Observe what's coming up for you. Keep on tapping on yourself, bringing down these subjective units of distress on yourself as you're watching that younger you. And how are they looking? They've got the ball, they've got the invisibility cloak, they've got the red shoes. What else do they need to bring in colour? And just invite them now. What would they like to do or say that they never felt that they could do or say at the time? And if you so wish to share, pop that in the chat box. Wendy's saying, I so want to step in and give her a hug, but I'm not allowed to. With me, You have all the permission, and I simply don't want you to associate with the little echo because we've got 30 minutes. Go and give them a hug if you so wish to. A magpie. Beautiful. If you feel that your echoes need a hug because they're part of you, I'm going to invite you to do a little something else. Is put your hand under your left arm, and with your left arm simply start stroking yourself. Imagine yourself stroking that younger you and hugging her. And breathing in and breathing out. Giving her a megaphone so she can speak her truth. Beautiful. Sunshine. Giving her a hug. Feel that. Giving her a big hug. Giving yourself a hug. Because she's part or he's part of you. And thank them. Thank them for doing such an amazing job. And now invite them to share with you what decision did they make that day? What did they say to themselves that day? What did they tell themselves that day? Because little children might not know what a belief is. I don't think I knew what a belief was until I was about 40. What limiting belief did they make? Don't ask them that. They're children. They might not understand. What decision did they make that day? Just pop that in the chat box. And remember, if this is too big a memory, thank them and tell them that you're going to put them in a safe place and put them in your trunk filled with cotton wool or candy floss, or so they feel safe. But if it's not too big, keep on empowering, inviting them to empower themselves. I'm making up a new tapping point there. I don't know what I was doing up here. What decision did they make that day? Just share that in the chat box. They're so amazing, these little souls. Nobody understands. She always feels left out. And take a moment, just simply read what you've written or think what that little one has shared with you. What would the opposite of that be? So what would be the positive of that be? So for nobody understand, what would the positive be for you? You're judged by how many stars you get on the class star chart. Yeah, judged. Something's wrong with me. So think now of the positive. So we're turning that around, we're flipping it over. I'm just popping the chat box. What's the opposite of the world is a lonely place? That could be, I'm connected. I have no power. It could be, I am empowered. Nobody understands me, listens to me, believes me. I am understood by the people that are important to me. I am magical. I bloody well am. Something's wrong with me could be, and these are my words, don't use my words, come up with your own words. Something's wrong with me could possibly be, I'm perfect in my imperfection. I'm judged by how many stars you get in this class star chart. Is they don't that could be these poor people have no idea how wonderful I'm getting all these stars. They have no idea. I always feel left out. Could be I am simply connected anyway. I understand myself. Let's see what you've got. You're better at reframing than me. Confusion to clarity. I'm surrounded by love and connection. Beautiful. And you hitting a brick wall and reframing tonight. It's you who are that's important. Beautiful, Wendy. Thank you. And now share that with the little one. And simply put your hand on your heart and share that with them. And how do they look now? And I'm tapping my triple warmer here. Beautiful, Lisa. I think it's my little soul realizing she'd forgotten why she had come here and what she'd signed up for. Beautiful. And as you're sharing that, I'm going to read you another Henry Ford quote to remind ourselves as well. When everything seems to be going against you, remember, a plane takes off against the wind, not with it. What other reframes have you flipped over that belief? What's coming up for you? Observe what's happening with those little echoes, these energetic conscious holograms, and how they're looking. Simply share that if you so choose. Make sure that they're safe and ask them their positive message to you now. And keep on tapping. What's their positive message to you now that they understand? Okay. And if you're feeling rage, I actually get excited when my clients and I feel rage, because it can be that catalyst to motivate us to do something. All that rage. All that rage. What do you need to do to express that rage, Anya? Renara is saying she can speak her magical truth. Is he saying, yesterday I had the huge realization that despite all the crap I've experienced, I'm still on my soul path. Nothing has changed that. I haven't become bitter. I just had a detour. Beautiful. I feel totally supported on my journey and will definitely and are having fun and never feel alone. And remind your little one that even though they can't see you physically, that you're always with them energetically. Because you're never alone. We are all connected. And you may wish to thank them because that decision they made at that time was once perhaps a solution and has kept you safe. However, now you're all free. Take the positives. Where is everyone now? Let's just check in. What's happening in your body? Thank your little echoes. You may wish to pop them in your heart or tell them they can go off and play and you'll be back to see them sometime. if that's okay with them, you'll always be with them. And then for those of you that haven't quite finished this, because this is very quick, we'll just do a little sneaking away. So even though I thank myself today, I found a limiting belief. I haven't quite cleared it yet. However, that's okay. I'm safe in the here and now, and I'll come back to it another day. So even though I've found another limiting belief, perhaps I haven't cleared it, perhaps I have. That's okay. I've made a start, and I'm safe in the here and now. So even though I found this limiting belief, I thank everybody for holding the space. I've started to transform this limiting belief. Perhaps I've cleared it, perhaps I've not. But at least I've started, so I'm going to thank myself because I'm safe in the here and now. I'm safe in the here and now. I thank my echo, and you can say their name. I thank all my echoes for keeping me safe, inviting me to survive and adapt. And I'm here and now, and I'm safe. And I thank you all. And a deep breath in and out, putting your hand on your heart. You may wish to bring some positive color in, some beautiful sound, beautiful scent, and take that new transforming belief and pull it down into your mind, to your brain. Feel your neurons and neural paths start to rewire as that new beautiful belief starts transforming your mind and your brain. You may feel that transformation and pull it down into your heart. When you're ready and it's filling up your heart, blast it out, bigger and brighter, louder, out into the matrix and the universe. And the matrix and the universe will rejoice, has been waiting patiently for all of us to see these new beliefs that we can embrace and rejoice and dance. And the matrix will laugh with glee as you and the matrix are one and the same. And every time your heart beats, the matrix will blast back to you with new vibrancy, new energy, new sound, color, energy. And every time your heart beats, your body will be flooded with that new energy. And every time your heart beats, your heart will dance to a different rhythm, to a different dance. And every time your heart beats, you can feel those colors, sounds, scents flow into your arms, legs, throat, inviting you to speak your truth, to walk your talk, to open your arms and feel that love and embrace it. You can see that new truth. You can hear that new belief. You can smell it, speak it, taste it. It is now you. And with all of that, I thank you. One and everyone. Make sure that you are all there. Come back into the room. Move that energy. You are now that new belief. I'd love to hear how you're getting on, and I'll see you next Wednesday at 7 o'clock with a different little tapping session. See you all then, guys. Bye for now.